Well, hello there. My name is Mark Miles, and I love helping trainers, presenters, workshop facilitators really take their results to the next level. And in today's video, I want to talk to you about how you can wrap up your training session, your workshop, really powerfully. And this is a topic that we don't really talk about very much, but ultimately, we have to be honest, folks. People don't actually remember what we actually teach them, but they do remember how we make them feel in the moment, and at the end of a training session can really be the moment where we solidify whether it was a positive experience or a not so great experience for our learners or our workshop attendees or our audience in general there. And what we do find is that, you could be delivering a really powerful, life-changing experience for your audience. But if the end is a little bit flat, or there's just some things that go wrong in the end of it, then people can walk out feeling a little bit half-baked or feeling a little bit, unenthused about what they've just gone through. And what I want to share with you is a couple of tips on how you can end powerfully. Again, it's a topic that we don't really talk about, but the end is equally as important as the beginning. And a lot of trainers and people out there will talk about how to start powerfully. Let's talk about the topic of ending powerfully. Something interesting to look at there, folks, right? So, because as we've talked about, training is both an art and a science. It's both the emotion and it's actually the structure of the delivery as well. So let's look at how we can end powerfully. So first thing we want to do, and you probably want to grab a pen and write these down, the first one that we want to do is get into the habit of doing a bookend at the end of our session. What does that mean? Well, basically a bookend is when you say to your participants, I want you to get into a pair and I want you to share with your partner what were your top 5 or top 6 learnings from the workshop that you've just gone through, right? And you can get them to write down their top learnings and share it with their partner, or you could do it in a small group of 3 people. That's totally fine, right? But you want to get your audience to actually capture those key learnings and share them with each other. And you can call it a learning inventory. And basically, it's a list of their key learnings, right? And you want them to have a moment to write that down and then share with a partner or share in a group of 2 or 3, right? Not more than 3. And then what you would like to do is you're going to then call on different people and you're going to get them to share what was their top learning from their list of 6 or, however you got them to write down, right? Now, here's a secret. Here's a pro tip. What you do want to do is you want to call on people very specifically, right? And you want to call on people that have been really positive and really engaged throughout your entire session. And then you want to move on to maybe in the middle, you're going to call on people that were a little bit less engaged or maybe even a little bit disruptive. Call on those people. Then in the final segment, you want to call on the people that were really positive again and were really the ones that got the most out of your experience or your workshop that you delivered, right? So you want to have a learnings inventory segment. Then what I recommend is you have a shift segment, all right, SHIFT. And in this segment, what you do is you get your audience members to declare for them personally what was the biggest shift that they had. And that would sound like, okay, folks, not yet, but I'd love you to now move and speak to a new person. What I'd love you to do is share with them what's been your biggest shift that you've had. What we mean by that is before you came along to this course, what did you think about XYZ topic? Now, after having gone through the course, what do you think about the topic, right? So that may be before I came along to this workshop about leadership, I thought leadership was all about XYZ. Now, having gone through this workshop, I've now realized leadership is actually XYZ or, ABC, right? And you get people to share with each other what are the major shifts that they've had in their thinking, right? It's a really powerful tool, really powerful activity that you can do in order to really capture the shifts that have happened in the room. Pro tip, This actually solidifies value for the participants and what they've actually achieved through the time they've spent with you, which is a really cool thing, right? So it's a bit of an unconscious thing. So what have we done so far? We've captured our learnings and we've shared that with the participant. Then what we've done is we've captured our key shifts that people have had, right? Now, again, you want to be strategic when you get people to share. So after they've shared with their partners, then you go ahead, around the room. Okay, cool. Bill, what's the biggest shift that you've had? All right, Ted, what's the biggest shift that you've had? And you go around the room again. Positives first, then you call on the people that are a little bit difficult or not so participant. Then the last of all, you want to capture the shifts from the people that have really been engaged. Why do we do that? Well, you want to you want to close off every debrief with a really positive note there. All right. So then what do? Well, as a trainer, we then want to go into a list of all the things that have been covered in the session. And you may say, all right, folks, I am so happy, so proud of every single one of you because this week or over this session, we've covered the topics of this, 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 and this, and this. And basically what we're doing is listing out all the things and all the value points that they've actually experienced, right? Which is awesome. Now, as you do that, as you mentioned to the audience, they're starting to go, wow, we did cover that, and starting to re-experience all the value they actually got from coming along to your workshop. Intent, nudge, nudge, right? So then what you want to say is something to the effect of, well, I am so excited for each and every one of you because I know for a fact, going back to your workplace, as a result of having covered all these things, you will now be able to do this, and you'll feel so much more confident to be able to do this, and you really lay it out for them. And you can say, I'm so excited for the new results that you will be achieving in the future. Then, last of all, or next, you want to say, look, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I am so thankful and grateful for every single one of you for coming along to this workshop because you guys have really made the experience so memorable, so exciting, and so full of value because you guys have all shown up, supported each other, and yeah, you've supported yourself as well. And we know that there's been some challenging moments, but every single one of you have overcome those challenges and really shown up powerfully, which has been amazing. All right, and you can really put in as much validation as you want there, but really acknowledge them for their hard efforts and hard work they've put in there. And you can say something to the effect of, look, I know for a fact that I really loved and enjoyed teaching this workshop. It's been amazing to see all of your transformations and see how you've really gone after the concepts and really put in 100%, which has been awesome. And then you can say, after all the acknowledgement, as we wrap up today's session, I just want to leave you with one final word or one final statement or one final message, right? And this is where you plant your last piece of, idea. And or you can reinforce something that you said at the very beginning of your workshop. And one of my favorite ones to share with people is training. It's not about me, it's all about our audience. So one thing that we can say is, as we wrap up today's session, let us remember as we go forward, training, leadership, whatever it is all about XYZ. And I just want to say a huge thank you for everyone that's come along to today's workshop or the workshop. And I want to wish you all the very best going forward, remembering that, blah, blah. All right. So those are some steps that you can go through, right? So what have we done? We've done a bit of a learning inventory where people have written down their key learnings and shared it with their partner. Then we've gone to share with your partner your biggest shift. So before I came to this workshop, I thought blah, blah. Now after attending, I think blah, blah, right? Then what we want to do is we want to list out everything that we've covered, and we want to then do a future pacing. And we want to say, look, I'm really excited for the new results that you're going to get around blah, blah, doing X, Y, Z. All right? Next, we want to look at acknowledging all their efforts and all their hard work that they've put in. Next, we want to thank them and really make them feel good. And last of all, we want to leave them with a powerful statement or a powerful idea to finish on as they walk out the door, right? And the more, I guess, inspiring you get with that last message, the more they're going to feel like, wow, that was an amazing session. Wow, that really was worth the effort, right? So those are some ideas that you can implement into your wrap up of your workshop. And the more that you really put some time, energy, and focus into this area, the more your audience members are going to feel, wow, there was great value and I feel acknowledged for my efforts, right? And when people feel like that, guarantee they're going to go out and tell their friends, family, colleagues about how awesome your workshop was, right? So don't hesitate to really spend some good quality time in this section and make sure that people realize the great value that they got from your session, but don't expect them to know it unless you actually bring it to the forefront. All right. And as I said, strategically, a pro tip, be conscious about what different members in your audience will potentially say when you do the debrief, right? And if you've had a couple of people that have been really positive and a couple of people negative, a couple of people whatever, right? Decide when are you going to call on those different people to share, because guaranteed you want to finish your workshop on a high and on a positive note. Don't pick on the person that's been disgruntled or upset or causing dramas as your last person to finish on, because that's just going to leave a negative vibe. Pick on someone that's going to be super positive and super complimentary and really enjoy the experience as the last person you call on when you're doing your debriefs. All right, really, really important pro tip. And it's not manipulation, it's just deciding what kind of vibe you want to create as you wrap up your workshop. All right. On that note, folks, hope you got some value from that. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get this message out there so that we can really raise the standards of training throughout Australia and beyond. On that note, I'm Mark Miles, and I love helping trainers, presenters speak to be remembered and speak to get even better results for their audiences. Thanks for watching, team.